So now that the base coats are all dry, I'm going to go start on the next layer. So, just real quick, as you can see, got the Thornwood green all nice and dry. You know, nice coat just where I need, just for the fabric. You know, nothing where I didn't need it. Yeah, so. And then you have Zakar, you know, who's, after looking at his model though, I said I was going to do him in all white. I noticed he had a secondary skirt right here that's next to, you know, between the armor and the underskirt. I think I'm actually going to do that in the blue to kind of tie it all together. But we'll see how that pans out. So that's why that's not coated in the green, the Thornwood green, because I think I'm going to do that in the blue. So that'll be something different there. So yeah, now we just go to the next color, which I'm going to zoom in here a little bit, make it a little bit easier for you guys to see what I'm doing here. Just dip it in, you know, get a lot of the excess off. Just the tip, always the tip. And then you find a part to start with. Now, because of me not doing it the way they say to do it, this part's actually almost like putting on another base coat. So like on the upper leg, I'll find the raised sections of the fabric, or the portions that I think are going to be raised. And then you just kind of coat most of it, but not all the way to the edge. And what that'll do is, when it's up close, I mean right now you can't, it's hard to tell what it's actually getting and, you know, what you're going to get out of it, because it's just the two different colors. But once you add all the different colors in there and get the ones that are needed, you know, for this one it's going to be start with Thornwood green, then go with the Minoth white base, and then finish up with the Minoth white highlight. Now, could go another layer up and get and do like Morrow white, because it's more of a pure white. But that's kind of a personal choice, personal preference. I don't see a reason to do that most of the time for these guys, because that's most of the time I'm just trying to get them done so I can play with them, you know, because everybody gets the new toy, everybody wants to play with the new toy, but you also got to do the painting, right? So if you look, so it's not a really even coat, but that's fine because you can go over it a couple different times if need be. So for the front, that looks pretty much what I'm going to be doing to the rest of the model. And like I said, right now you're probably looking at going, it just looks like crap. Looks like somebody just went and took it, you know, just gave a little kid paintbrush and just told him, hey, have fun. But trust me, it'll look a lot better when it's all said and done. So now it's just going over the model. I'm gonna keep on kind of jabbering and whatnot over this model just for the color, so I can get this whole thing kind of gone through. Now, you get the, like I said, you don't go all the way to the edges. Keep a little bit pulled back some. Most of that is most of the reason is so you can get the keep the cracks and the crevices and the recesses dark. So sorry, every once in a while I get a little preoccupied with what's going on. So with the get pulled into the brushing. And like I said, this part right here, it kind of sets up the rest of your colors for where you're going to apply them to. So like right now, you see the green outside there, the green in the crevices there. That won't be gone back over again, so you have the greens right here and over here, and the crevices in the front. Those, the next highlighted colors won't go to that section. I'll actually shrink the section down some more for the next color. So now I'm just doing the top half of the his little, like I like to think of it as a onesie is what he's wearing. So get all but the recesses. If you get close to if you take up a recess, that's still fine. It's not like it's, this isn't a painting technique. Well, it is a paint technique that you can use for perfection, but for me, it's just one I like to use for the fabrics, or if I'm not dry brushing, that is. As I've said before, I'm a big fan of the dry brush. Love the dry brush. It's a fast, easy way to get a lot of things painted up. Kind of started back in my early days doing that, of painting. I don't know if anybody else, I think a lot of people started this hobby in other games. Wink wink, hint hint there. Other games. But everything still needed to be painted, and I just kind of got to the point to where painting was a lot more fun than just getting things onto the table. Not necessarily painting up to anyone else's standards, anyone else's likes. It really did just come to the painting it to my own personal likes. So we're almost finished with his first coat, and it looks something similar to that. Let me clean my brush up real quick, close the paint. People probably gonna tell me, don't use the paint pot, don't dip out of the paint pot. Use a wet palette, use something else, put the paint out so the rest of it doesn't dry up. I'm guilty of that. I probably should use like a wet palette or some other kind of medium to preserve the paint in the pot. Maybe transfer the paint to like droppers or something, so I only put out what I need. But anyways, back to the model. So here he is, the first layer of white over the green, and like I said, this is a Minoth white base, and I'll do the other two, and then when I go to do this, I'll start the third. I'll come back to this guy for the third layer and show you guys what the third layer looks like. Who knows? Maybe I might go to a fourth layer. I don't know. It all depends upon what I think at the time when I'm working with it. So, but right now, that's where I'm at. So let's see how much more we can get. How much more we can get done. All right. So for the white, I had to go the extra layer, and I went all the way up to Morrow white. And that's pretty much what it'll look like. Now the next step, because it's pretty much the next biggest thing to deal with on him, is going to be the tabard and whatever this thing is. I guess they're both considered a tabard. So to start that off with, I'm going to do the same thing I did for the fabric of the suit. I'm going to do that the same thing here on the tabard, except for I'm going to use blue. And I'm using Exile Blue from the P3. And pretty much like with the rest of the fabric, it is a matter of starting with the darkest first. Starting with the dark and moving to the light. So I will continue this. The blues, little side topic here while I'm trying to get all the fabric itself done. Little side portion here, the blue. I'm not exactly sure as to why I chose blue to go with them. Figured it'd be a nice contrast, I guess, for the red. The white was kind of an afterthought for most of the models. So if you see, most of my army is red and blue with accents of white. Just recently, I've been incorporating more white into the color scheme, or the color of the army. Originally, I was using white as an accent color or colors for support models. But there's times we get, more than one support model. So like beast handlers, what Skorne player doesn't have at least 2 units of beast handlers? So you get them on the tabletop, you can't have 2 white units of beast handlers, because that just gets them really confusing, and you have to mark either the bases differently or whatever. So it just made it easier just to paint one unit white, with white robes, and another unit with blue robes. That way on the tabletop, you see the model, it's a beast handler, but there's no confusion as to what unit is what. So, or what unit is already activated or whatnot. That way you're not going, you get to the mix of like a good battle, and you get the blues, you get all the models together. Next thing you know, you're going, well, is he part of this unit, that unit? And it just made it kind of a big pain. I'll do the banner later. Banner's usually the last piece I do, because I don't know if you noticed or not, but I tend to hold it a lot by the banner. Between the banner, like this to get pieces or whatnot. But the banner has a lot of touching. Touch it a lot. And so we'll do this guy's banner. Not his banner, his tabard and loincloth, whatever it is they call it. His little drop down fabric there. And then I'll do similar to this, similar to the white, I'll do the blue. So the first color is Exile Blue. And let me finish this up real quick. Alright, so this is him with his tabard, banner, whatever it is they call, tabard, loincloth, whatever it is they want to call it. Earlier, I went ahead and did up Zadesh. The more I look at him, the more I realize even though I had a color scheme designed set up for him, I'm actually adding a lot more to it. So now, if you notice, the little, I guess, upper part is also going to be blue. So yeah, so that's that part for him. He's base coated. So Exile Blue is going to be the first color. Then from that, I go to Signar Blue Highlight, and then from there, I will probably end up doing like an Arcane Blue, because, well, it just kind of has a nice sequence of blue going up. And if need be, I can go to like the frost or maybe the morrow after this if I really need to make it come up anymore. So I'm gonna let that dry because that is the base. So you need to let the base dry, and then from there I will come back and do the blues. All right. So for the next shade of blue on these guys, once again, starting here with the Raider, going now with the Signar blue highlight, and just kind of like we did with the white. You know, you got the base coat, and basically what we're just going to do is we're just going to, you know, go a little lighter. Alright. I'm almost done with the primary portion of this guy. Alright, so with this first one here, if you notice, there you go. So you get some of the darks are in the little crevices. Same thing here on the front side. I'm gonna get inside the little tabards area there. That way it's a you know, it's completely covered front to back. Not that anybody's really going to pay that close attention, but you know, if it's, you know, it's personal preference for me that I would like to make sure it's completely coated, and you know, just in case somebody decides to check it out, it'll be completely done. Not entering any awards or anything with it, just painting it to my to how I like it, and pretty much that's going to be about it. So we'll take a pause. I'll paint the other two models we're working on, the Savage and the Zakar. So we'll be back and I'll show you. Actually, I'm gonna probably do both lighter shades of blue to bring it up, and then before I start doing the trim pieces, which is usually the next piece, either that or the leather wrap. I don't know which one I'll do next. Usually those are the next two, depending upon what how I'm feeling and what's the most takes up the most space. But so far that's what we have right here. And when I get back, the blue will be done, and either the leather wraps will be started, or the trim.